Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about that state of play that happened yesterday and what I thought was good and what I didn't really care about. We're not going to be going over all of it, just the stuff that I enjoyed and some of the stuff that I think is good for PlayStation. Okay, so we're starting right away with Stellar Blade. Now, they've showed this up quite a bit. We got a release date, which is April 26th, I believe. They showed a lot more of it. There's like a ton of different outfits and like the combat and the different characters and some of the story. I think this looks pretty darn good. I think at first it seemed like it was just about the girl's butt, right? They showed that all the time, but it actually looks like a proper game this time, which is really good. I wouldn't say this is like jumped up to the top of my excited for list, but it actually does look like a proper game. It looks like the action has some weight to it. Some of the enemies kind of remind me of Scarlet Nexus, if you played that. Yeah, anyway, I think it looks pretty interesting. I think there's some real possibility for this one. Looks like it's got pretty high production value, which, you know, we all saw that in her at first, but the level design and the enemies and all that was a little bit of a surprise for me, and so I think there's some real possibility for this one. So Stellar Blade looks pretty cool. Next I got V Rising. So this has been out on PC for a while, and it's kind of that vampire Diablo-like, but you gotta do stuff during the night, and during the day you gotta either rest or build your base or whatever, and that's coming to PlayStation. So that's a good thing. I think that game hit with at least a certain crowd, and so bringing it to the PlayStation is a good thing. Next up is Rise of the Ronin. Now, we've known about this for a bit. We already had the release date of March 22nd. It's a Team Ninja game, and it looks like a mix of Ghost of Tsushima, Nioh, I don't know, a lot of their games. You can see Team Ninja's touch on all of it, right? It's kind of their signature style, their combat, the way things look absolutely fits their thing. But it's that historic Japan where the Shogun are falling out of power and the Western influences are coming, and it's very interesting. You're kind of like a samurai, but you have a glider and you can use a gun and different weapons. I think it looks really cool. I like the way that Team Ninja does their combat, and I think that this one is going to be an open world, and so I think the difficulty might be ratcheted down a little bit, which obviously some people are not going to be happy about that. They'd rather keep it on the more difficult side, but I think this could be more approachable for kind of your everyday, player, which is a good thing. I think Team Ninja is an incredible developer, and so increasing the amount of people that like their games is a good thing. Anyway, I think what they showed at Rise of Ronin wasn't a lot new, at least for me, but looked good. At the end, they announced that on the 6th of February, they're doing a separate state of play that's going to focus on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's cool and all. I'll just say this, I already want that game. I've already seen enough of that game, so I don't know that I even want to watch that because I don't want them to give away more. I've been kind of staying away from the trailers because I just want to experience the game. So if you want to watch that, I think that's great. I think it'll be good. It's more about Final Fantasy VII, but I think I'll probably stay away because I just want to play the game. But that's just me. Okay, and then the big one for me was Dragon's Dogma 2. We've talked about that on this channel already. I'm very, very excited for this one, but this time they showed something that either they didn't show before or I didn't catch, and that was like 2 weapons or 2 vocations at the same time. So like we saw a guy casting fire from his wizard robes with his wand or whatever, or staff, and then as the enemy got close, he switched over to like the giant longsword and jumped at him with it, right? Or archers firing their bows when the enemy got close, switching over their swords and attacking. That looks awesome, right? Like, I'm super excited for that. You can totally come up with some crazy combinations for that. Your standard like ranger build, right, with longbow, and then as they get close, switch to like dual blades or something. Like, that is awesome. I'm super stoked for that. This game is going to be good. This one also comes out March 22nd, so unless you have the money or a ton of time, you probably are to pick one. I will go with Dragon's Dogma 2 first, and then Rise of the Ronin will come later on, hopefully. So that's my plan, but pick your poison, I guess. The other thing, I just want to mention a couple of things that aren't necessarily my favorite, but I think are important and good, and that Judas, which is from the BioShock developer, I wouldn't say I love, but I remember playing the first BioShock, and the twist that people talk about, which of course I'm not going to explain if you haven't played it, is worth the playthrough all on its own. That was an incredible twist. The writing is really good, and so I'm sure that Judas will be good. But the thing is, I have found as my tastes have grown, as I've grown, it's just not what I tend to want to play, right? I get bored of that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be good. I think a lot of people will love Judas. I think it looks amazing. I just probably will not spend my time on it. So up to you on whether you will or not, but just, being honest about here. The other thing is Silent Hill finally kind of got announced, right? We knew it's been in the works, but they announced the small project that got released the same day. It was a shadow drop for free. And then they announced the Silent Hill 2 remake. Again, we knew that was coming, but actually showing some of it and whatever. And I hope for Silent Hill fans that looked good to you. I don't care for horror games. I just don't. I don't play Resident Evil. I don't play Silent Hill. That's just kind of not my thing, right? So if you love those, I'm excited for you. But I'm not going to be playing it. I'm not interested. And then the other one was, of course, Hideo Kojima came on there. And this guy is like a rock star, I guess. I mean, everyone seems to just love him. And he gets like a ton of time everywhere he goes. Whatever. I mean, I'm happy for the dude. He's worked hard to get there. But I didn't play Death Stranding 1. And so Death Stranding 2, which was announced there, which again we've heard about before, but they showed more of it, is whatever. That don't care for me. And then he announced what was that? A sabotage game, like an action saboteur. I don't even know. So essentially, he just announced Metal Gear Solid, but since he's not with Konami, it can't be Metal Gear Solid, right? Espionage. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, good for him. Like, that might be cool. But again, while I think he's a great developer, he doesn't develop the kind of games that I want to play. So, I'm happy for the Hideo Kojima fans. I just probably don't care myself. That's kind of the state of play. Again, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the big one for me. I am so excited for that game. We're going to spend a lot of time on that one here. And some of the other ones are pretty cool. Let me know, what did you think of the state of play? What kind of grade would you give it? And what was your favorite game there? I thought it was pretty good overall. I think as a state of play, it's got to be in the B to A range just because they had a lot of good things to show. They did some deep dives, they did some quick ones, and they're bringing over some big games. I thought it actually was a pretty darn good state of play. What did you think though? And that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching and good hunting.